down the noise and listen close. Truth not hide forever. Hey. Colonel Indios, Wyatt Africa, stand up. Hey. Legacy media all around. Headlines spinning round and round. Selling fear from town to town. Trying to keep the people down. Lies and fake news every day. Misinformation on display. Disinformation lights the way, leading sheep so far astray. Bah, bah, little lambs in line, trusting everyone in sign, marching where them say is fine, never asking who designed. Truth gets traded for political gain, again and again and again, while ordinary people feel the strain, caught in somebody else's game. Resistance is futile, them say. Just obey what you're told today. But the people waking up anyway, and the truth keeps finding a way. Resistance is futile, them cry, while their stories never quite comply. You can see it with your own two eyes. Truth lives on, it never dies. Them divide people left and right, turning neighbors into fights, clouding up what should be bright, hiding facts out of sight. They use people then discard, push narratives strong and hard. When the evidence leaves them scarred, them simply move the goalposts yard by yard. Cognitive dissonance in the air, contradictions everywhere, yet some still pretend not to care. Like the emperors got close to it. But the movement's growing every day, not from rage and not from hate, just folks who choose to investigate before it's far too late. Resistance is futile, them say. Just obey what you're told today. But the people waking up anyway, and the truth keeps finding a way. Resistance is futile, them cry, while their stories never quite comply. You can see it with your own two eyes. Truth lives on, hey, it never dies. Come and get a daily dose of reality. No hysteria, no manufactured tragedy. Take a little break from propaganda and insanity, and step into a place of clarity. Inoculation against fake news infection. Yellow journalism without direction. Question everything, make your own inspection. Truth should never fear examination. Join the colonel, hear the story. Without all the money, facts should glory. Facts before ideology, that's the art of honest reporting. The Wyatt Army isn't just a name, it's ordinary people in the game, thinking freely, not seeking fame, refusing to be led by shame. Just chill, relax and hear the scene, see what all the headlines mean. Objectivity sharp and clean like a river flowing crystal green. No need for panic, no need for fear. Take a look and make it clear. When the facts and evidence appear, the signal rises through the smear. Resistance is futile, them clear, yet more people question all the same. Searching truth beyond the frame, and refusing to play the game. Resistance is futile, no more. People knocking on reality's door, seeking facts they're looking for, and finding what they can't ignore. Yeah man, truth shines brighter than confusion. The noise fades, the facts remain. Colonel Chris
And the Wyatt Army.
keeping it cool, keeping it real. Resistance is futile.
Indeed it is futile.
When the truth is coming true. Fade out.
Truth. Nothing but the truth. Fade out. Good evening, folks. Welcome back. My sincere apologies for today. I have now tested this internet 5 times in the last 20 minutes. and it appears to be working. So I've had major internet problems since a storm blew through the east coast of the United States over the weekend and has caused me episodic problems. I was fortunate to get through the anecdotes interview yesterday. It was difficult. But today I've gotten through nothing because it just became so bad. I called and I threatened to report them to the Federal Communications Commission over their monopolistic practices and their failure to fix this. And I also, threatened to move to a different provider, not that I have an option. And lo and behold, they did a deep thing, and there was a synchronization issue. There was no asynchronous connection between the two links between my router and their network, and so they fixed it. It must have all gone haywire and just got continually downgraded. So for the moment, it appears to be working. So you shouldn't be getting any buffering because of my end. So my apologies to my guest this morning, who's an anonymous guest. I've rescheduled that for Monday. And hopefully the internet will continue the weekend. I don't want to pull the rug out from under him. So my apologies for that. This is a news broadcast, though, so we will get to the news. Please hold your refugee comments and questions till after the news. I just need to recount. So it's been an epic and frustrating day. I think some of you watched my Night Owls last night. I'll let you know. And obviously, we have almost nobody here in the audience tonight. That really sucks because the word hasn't gone out. If there's any moderators here, if you could please put this in some of the groups out there, the WhatsApp groups and other things, so people will know that we're live right now. It's only 9:40 in South Africa. You're not all grandparents, are you? Somebody should be awake at this hour. Anyway, so and for the folks here in America, wake up. It's afternoon. It's a Friday. So it's been crazy last 24 hours. Yesterday, busy interview with the Prinsloo family, which was incredible. Then the news, had some trouble with the buffering a little bit in the news. Then I was able to get the interview with Ernst Rutz done on the global announcement of the White Cross Project for Washington, D.C., scheduled for the 26th of September. We covered that and a host of issues. After the interview with Ernst Rutz, then I had to go to the Veterans Organization for meetings, or monthly meetings, and also had to do a performance appraisal for the new manager who's been there for 3 months. But then I received a phone call from a South African media outlet who asked me a question. So they said, can I ask a couple questions? I answered a couple questions. And next thing you know, it was 47 minutes. I literally got in my car, put my computer into sleep, rushed over to the Veterans Organization, got there, 1 minute to spare, did the performance appraisal, then did the board of directors meeting, then did the home association meeting, then did the veterans meeting. And in between that, we finished one of the meetings early enough that I was able to go out and start a 50-50 draw and sell tickets to raise $100 for the Veterans Club last night in those 20 minutes. And rather than getting a drink or relaxing, then did the meeting, then started to come home, but it was late and had time to cook. So I went to get a pizza at Little Caesars, which I don't like, but we don't have anything else nearby. So I went to Little Caesars and it was closed on a Thursday, early evening. Sign said open, but nobody was there. Door was locked. So I went to the Chinese place next to it, and the lady that sells Chinese food wasn't there. The two cooks were, with the walks, flipping stuff up and down, ignoring me for 5 minutes. Finally, I had enough. How about a little respect, dude? Come over. Probably can't speak English. Who knows if they're even legal? So I know she's legal because she's registered to vote. Of course, I assume she's legal. Anyway, so I walked over to Subway, bought some Subway sandwiches, walked out, put them in my car. And then I walked to the dollar store and bought some Haribo gummy bears, my wild berry ones that I love. Came back, got in the car, pushed the start button, and the dashboard lit up, but then the car wouldn't crank. I've experienced this before with that car. It takes a lot of amps to crank that engine, that 6-cylinder engine, that little sedan. So I was within about 250 meters of the auto parts store, one of them. I walked over. They closed at 9 p.m. It was 8:40. We looked up the battery, sold me a battery. I went out. And then I had to remove my battery and switch it out. The humidity was over 90%. The temperature was still about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 36, 38 degrees last night. Anyway, I'm standing there and breaking into a sweat, trying to remove my battery. The terminals came off okay, but then the mount I couldn't get to because it's deep, and I didn't have my ratchet. I was using a crescent wrench, and it took about 85 quarter turns to get that thing loose enough that I could take it out. It took me 20 minutes to get it out, swap the batteries out, put the new battery in, and it worked. But then I had to go home. And anyway, I finished all that about 12 minutes to 10 last night. And then, or 11. And then got back here, did a Night Owls, and I got cut off. It was such a pain. It was going in and out. But we managed to get that stream done. Got up this morning and had no internet whatsoever. I could no upload at all. Could do nothing. I called them on my mobile phone, irritated. Had to cancel or postpone the interview. Couldn't do the news. Then I had 2 videos to do, so I recorded a video here. I loaded it onto my mobile phone. Went because my mobile network here at the house gets me 126 download, upload 1 or 2 or 3 megabytes. That's slow. Over at the auto parts place, now the grocery store, I get 146 megabytes and about 4 or 5 megabytes upload. But in front of the auto parts store, which is just a few hundred meters away, I get 460 megabytes of download and I get 46 megabytes of upload, even faster than my house. So I took that video, loaded it on my phone, went to the auto parts store because I had to return the battery and get my money back because you have to turn the battery in. It's the state, so you don't just throw them in the river. And I got my money back for the old battery. So I sat outside the place. I put my phone there and I loaded up that video. Then I was going to record a video. I did one about the email screw up. And so I came back to the car and had the microphone and I went to take it off and it fell between the seat. Well, my hands can't get in between the seat. I couldn't get in, nothing reach. Went back in the auto parts store and I asked him for a screwdriver, but the screwdriver was like this long. It was too short. I couldn't get to it. And I found a piece of paper, but it wouldn't push. It wouldn't budge. Well, it has a magnet on it. That's how it attaches. And the magnet was attached to the rail for the seats. I had to go back inside. They had a big pry bar. I got a pry bar between my seat and I latched onto it. It was such a heavy iron content that the microphone glommed onto that instead of the rail. And I was able to get it out. Oh my goodness. It just never ends, folks. It just never ends. Anyway, it's been an epic adventure. Meanwhile, I'm looking at screenshots from the Hate Wankers group. The Hate Wankers group run by a certain, bathrobe wearing psychotic lunatic. And people are going on there and spreading lies. Colonel Wyatt says you're a criminal. You're a criminal or a thief, and that's why you were denied. I never said that. You need to get the sexual appendage that's stuck in your ear out of your ear and put it where it belongs, because I never said that. I said people are getting denied for a reason. They made themselves ineligible. Some people make themselves ineligible for criminal activity. I didn't say people are criminals. Some people make themselves ineligible because they're not in the country. Some people make themselves ineligible because they lie. That's what I said. Stop spreading lies, you disgusting, vile, repulsive, self-pleasuring, masturbating hate wankers. Stop it. You're a bunch of losers. Oh, that colonel says you've been good. I never said that at all, you morons. You're hateful shrews. Go live in your closet. Live in your closet. Nobody wants to talk to you, idiots. Good Lord. Get the sexual appendage out of your ear. Pull it out. Stop playing with sex toys in the other ear. Maybe you'll hear what's said. Are you listening to the words coming out of my mouth? I never said that stuff, you morons. Bunch of morons. That's right, I called you moron. You type that stuff and lie about me, you're a moron. Or you're just a fraud. Oh, yeah, I fixed the clock last night. I reset it. Yeah, some people got, sexual organ disease in the brain. Lindsay Kuhn says, watch. Oh, Lindsay, please, come on. You don't know me, obviously. You're new. You're not that new. You just changed name. .58 beats per minute. My heart is not running like a hummingbird. Nope, I'm not excited. My blood pressure is not high. You don't know. I've spent no time with Ronaldo Lioness. I did one broadcast from this week. In fact, I noticed that a number of content creators in South Africa have been talking about The Spy. But nobody told me about The Spy. I had to hear it from one of my viewers. And I went and found it. Oh, I know you say it from a place of love. I'm just saying I don't, my blood pressure is fine. It's the aneurysm you got to worry about. That thing collapses. You joined the chat at the right time. Hey, how's it going, Shawnee? Welcome to 66 people here. Ronaldo stinks. I don't know. He smelled pretty good last time I was around him. No, there's no vein throbbing in my forehead. All right, so yeah. Oh, the weekly. Oh, no. Anyway, if anything, I've influenced Ronaldo. Ronaldo was a leftist in the DA when he met me. Now he's a conservative in the Freedom from Plus. Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Ronaldo was a political leftist in the DA when he met me. Now he's a conservative in the Freedom from Plus. Victory is mine, man. Tell me it ain't true. It's true. yeah, but he's hanging out with conservatives. It's wearing off on him. Garrett Gillich, how's it going? No, Andreas Muller, because I 15 minutes before I went live, I scheduled it. So if you don't do it 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes before a live stream, YouTube doesn't notify anybody. It's just how it works. It's just how it works, folks. Good evening, Mari. All right, so we'll cover some news this evening since we're on a late one. Apologies. Thanks to the 78 people currently here. Be sure to hit that like button. We probably have a handful of likes. Yeah, 36. Oh, that's sad. Really understand left and right. Okay, so pizza party. Right is considered conservative. Conservative means you don't want to change things, but it's more than that. That's the general sense. I mean, you don't take risk, but that's not really accurate. That's the general sense. Left is liberal, when meaning more open to change and things, but that's also not right. So basically, people who oppose abortion are conservatives. People who believe in a strong national defense are conservative. These are general things. People believe in fiscal restraint, small government, are conservative. People believe in individual liberty are conservative, but there are other people who believe in liberty too. Some liberals believe in that, and also libertarians believe in it. But those are generally things, and people of faith tend to be conservative. Those are conservative values. People who promote homosexuality tend to be left of center. People who promote equality over opportunity tend to be left. People who believe in multiculturalism tend to be left. People who are agnostic or atheists tend to be left. And people who sit around and self-pleasure themselves for hours on end tend to be left. Yeah. No, it's okay, Rest the Monkey. People believe in truth and facts are conservative. People believe in sci-fi are leftists. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Nev. Yep. Faith, family, and flag. Yep. Faith, family, and flag. I hope that helps. Okay, now I'm giving too much data. It's going out at 5 megabytes per second. So it's higher than recommended. No, that's the right speed. YouTube adjust that. Pizza party. Okay, you're welcome. I hope that explains a little bit. So yeah. Now look, some traditional values are left of center, like freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of worship. Those are all they're classical liberal values, but I'd say they're more in the center. Rational people from both sides believe in those things. Okay. Yeah, Afro-Maggie. I've heard that. Yeah, Afro-Maggie. That was John Steenhuisen, the failed white minister of agriculture who needs a lifestyle audit. John needs a lifestyle audit, like some people need a not what's the word I'm looking for, not that, a colonoscopy. Some people need a colonoscopy. John needs a lifestyle audit. Yep. Yeah, they tend to wear ugly, confining shoes. Yep. All right, folks, let's get to it. Let's see what we've got for news, because I know people came here for news. All right, so my apologies to my guest this morning. It looks like I might be able to do this. But let's go check on the FIFA, by the way. What's happening? Is that tonight's game or is it in the afternoon? I get lost with this stuff. Yesterday's Team West Africa defeated Morocco. Very disappointed in that. I was pulling for Morocco. That leaves no one left. Spain and Belgium, it's 1-1, and I'm pulling for Spain because Belgium, bunch of hate wankers. I hate Belgium after their obnoxious display the other day after winning their game. Xfinity, let me tune in on that. Come on. Yeah, they have it early afternoon for us, so it's not too late for the Europeans to watch. Why am I not signed into my account? Oh, I got signed out of all my accounts last night, too. That was kind of irritating. Again, that's like the third freaking day in a row. Okay, let's see if I can get signed in. Bafana lost to soccer because the ball was white. The ball was white. Is that true? Yeah, throwing a colonoscopy. Yeah, John could use a colonoscopy too, I suppose. We probably all could. Anybody over 50 probably needs one. Anyway, it's not, I've done one. It's not fun. It's not fun. You don't feel it, but I mean, it's not fun. All that crap you got to drink beforehand. You can't eat anything, and then when it's over, it's like, oh, you feel so violated. You just feel like something's wrong. After a colonoscopy, it's like, hey, this is how things are supposed to be, man. This is not how things are supposed to be. I had my colonoscopy like 10 years ago, something like that. And I'm like, whoa. 8 years ago, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? There's something wrong with this picture. Am I supposed to do this, every 5 years? But, whoa, what do you mean you've nothing found? What do you mean nothing found? It's telling me it can't find the game? What the hell is this? Why can't I find the game? I'm signed in, you bastards. Bastardi. You bastards. You can't find the friggin' soccer game? Now my cable company's not even giving me their damn game. Watch TV online. What a bunch of pricks. I've been watching all the soccer here. FIFA World Cup Live. There we go. Man. Not all gay people have nose rings and blue hair. No, they don't.
Unlimited home internet.
They don't. Who said they do? But lots of leftists have them. I just have to find it Southern women who were selling secret cellar. I mean, of all places, she could have sold to Russia. Yeah, exactly. Did you see Franz Kerney's comments about how young professionals how to get a better deal compared to major Western countries? I did not. My thoughts, without seeing it, my thoughts are Franz Kerney is mistaken. Now, I know Franz Kerney. I've interviewed him before. He's mistaken. So I'm not going to say bad things about Franz, but I don't know where he's getting that from. I don't know where he's getting it from. Better quality of life? Really? Home ownership at 15% interest rate? Yeah, no. No. Better quality of life? No. No. I'm sorry. Not buying that story. It must be halftime. Because, it looks like it's halftime. Oh, another flash flood. Let's screw up my internet again. This afternoon's game, I thought Spain was going to roll over them, but apparently it's not that way.
Inserted into the starting 11 in place of Pedre, the PSG midfielder. Got the game's first goal late. Belgium finish has things tied at ones here.
All right, halftime, it's 1-1. Yep. They got Peter Schmeichel. He's probably the best. Javier Hernandez sounds like a little boy or a little girl when he talks. And this other guy, Oki, makes no sense. Peter Schmeichel's about the best one they've got there. So Spain versus Belgium. I expect Spain to win this. They're the favorites in my book to win it the rest of the way. All right. I'll have to look what Franz Kerney said, but we obviously disagree on that. Young professionals in South Africa? No. Only if you're black. Only if you're black. Only if you're black. Now, compared to major Western countries, no, that's complete poppycock. I'm sorry, Franz. We'll disagree for that forever. That's nonsense. Yep. Your chances of being murdered in South Africa are exponentially larger than the United Kingdom, Ireland, the United States, France, Germany, even Italy. Give me a break. United States is still pummeling Iran. U.S. holds fire on Iran after 2 days of strikes, but we'll go after it again. President Trump told Fox News senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy back in February that he left instructions to have Iran obliterated if the regime ever assassinated him. The comments found new light Friday after Thursday report from the Wall Street Journal revealed that Israeli officials informed Trump of a new Iranian plot to assassinate him. Yep, the Wall Street Journal announced that. We're going to talk about that. Trump agrees to more talks, but the ceasefire is over. We are not holding our powder. He said that the lull in fighting has ended in no uncertain terms. Trump today reiterated the ceasefire between the United States and Iran is over, but said the administration will agree to hold more talks amid a flare-up. The Islamic Republic of Iran has asked us to continue talks. We have agreed to do so, but the United States has stated to them in no uncertain terms that the ceasefire is over. Over. We will pummel you into the next life. U.S. Navy vows to defend the Hormuz navigation as a threat level stays severe. So here's U.S. Navy patrolling the Strait of Hormuz in the Arabian Sea. U.S. Navy-led maritime coalition said today that American forces are fully prepared to defend freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, insisting that no country has the authority to control the strategic waterway or impose transit fees, even as the regional threat level remains severe. Good. That's how it should be. The Hawks have referred a criminal complaint against yet another senior South African law enforcement official. The acting police commissioner, Dimpane, has been referred to the IDAC. The IDAC is set to take over the case against acting National Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Pumleng Dimpane. Public Interest SA wants Dimpane investigated for a role in a $360 million Medicare 24 Schwane contract. 16 people accused, including suspended Police Commissioner Fanny Masamola, are already facing prosecution. Yep, so another criminal complaint against yet another senior ANC official. JS says, the social contract of study, get a good job, buy a house, and affordable appears to be broken and unaffordable. Well, I would disagree with that. If you get yourself a high school diploma and go work at Wendy's, and yeah, of course the contract's broken because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Yep. Anti-immigrant marchers have turned vigilante labor inspectors, assaulting anyone they consider foreign. This is out of control, and the government of South Africa is silent on this again. Where is that lieutenant general who promised to arrest all of the... What is Joe's deal here? Okay, are we going to have to deal with the troll here? All right, my moderators. I see the trolling has started. Okay. See, we have trolling going on. All right. What a shame. People just can't behave themselves. It's all right, last domino. People don't get notified. Yep. So as the second phase of weekly Thursday anti-migrant protests begin, a new trend has emerged. The broad coalition of March and March, the labor and civic organization, the All Truckers Forum, and others have become labor inspectors. These are criminal vigilantes. Criminal vigilantes. Hendo. Yep. This phase of protests include factory visits by March organizers inspect foreign nation employees. The closure of spot shops and meetings. I'm going to tell you what. These people are going to keep this crap up, and they're going to get a PK. Somebody is going to start taking these clowns out for being vigilantes and coming to someone's private property, trespassing, and accessing a building and demanding to see people. You can foot sec. You have no rights there. No rights whatsoever. What a bunch of clowns. What a bunch of clowns. Well, the former Brigadier General, yes, jailed for acting as a spy in the U.S. Portia Anyamba, a former Brigadier General of South African Air Force, has been sentenced to 6 months in jail in the U.S. Ladies and gentlemen, she retired from the South African Air Force in 2011. She couldn't have joined before 95 because she was an MK operative. So 95, 16 years, she retired as a general. The hell did she do in 16 years to become a general? Nobody becomes a general in 16 years. Not even in the corrupt SANDF. What the hell did she do? Was she a spy back then too? She is scheduled to attend federal penitentiary in the United States. Found guilty of making false statements and of acting as an agent of a foreign power, South Africa. Former South African Air Force Brigadier General Portia Posh Anyamba has been sentenced to prison in the United States for being a foreign agent for South Africa. She was paid to go to events and secretly report back to officials from South Africa. Intelligence Officer number 1. Yes, that's who she reported to. A South African sentenced to federal prison in the United States for being a secret foreign agent. Ooh, not a very effective one, though. She got caught. She also got a $9,500 fine. She got off easy. She got off easy. You know why? Do you know why? You know why? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why Portia got off easy. If you're curious about why Portia got off easy, here it is. This is right here. I'm gonna detail this for you. I'm gonna explain it. I'm gonna explain it to y'all. Ready? This is why she got off easy. You ready for this? You ready for this? This is gonna explain why she got 6 months and why they gave her a lesser charge instead of espionage. Miss Portia, my name is Agent Juan Valdez from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We'd like for you to tell us the names of all the spies working in the South African Embassy in Washington. In exchange for that and telling us the tradecraft, how they communicate, do they do dead drops? Are they using social media apps to communicate with their agents in the field? And for all the other things you tell us about the state security agency in South Africa, instead of sending you to prison for 15 years and giving you a $1 million fine, we're going to offer you 6 months in the federal penitentiary. We won't pursuing denaturalizing you. You'll be able to retain your citizenship. And you won't have a felony record. And we're only going to charge you $9,500. What can you tell us? Well, let's see. I'm happy to tell you about all of that. For instance, there are people that work in the embassy, and they are spies. They are spies for the government. They're not really agricultural agents. They're not really people doing this, that, and the other. They're actually just spies. I mean, you may have heard of some of these names. Some of the people at the embassy. It's true. It's really true, folks. Mr. Agent, I want to let you know, Mr. FBI agent. Do you know Karen Berger? Do you know Karen Berger? Isn't she the one that put the letter not in her name for Afrikaners? Isn't she a counselor political at the political section there? Is she one of your contacts? Can you tell us, is Karen Berger one of your contacts at the State Security Agency? She spilled the beans. That's why she's... Oh, she betrayed her comrades. She spilled the beans, singing like a canary. Oh, stop, please. Stop, Mr. FBI. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Everything. I'll tell you more. I'll tell you stuff I don't know. Singing like a canary. The convicted spy. The spy who went into the cold. There you go. God bless it. This thing keeps sticking. Yep. Underground ANC, military camps, Paris, convicted South African spies, movements before she went to jail. Huh. She was paid to give South Africa reports on events. Nope. Yeah, sure, Joe. Yeah, spies do YouTube channels and tell everybody about their lives and travel all over the world and have meet and greets. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. She got paid to go to conferences and then report back to the government. That's not illegal. That's also not spying. That's an open event. The information is freely available. That's not spying. That's why we have embassies. However, if you do that on behalf of a foreign government and you don't report it to the Attorney General, well, then you're causing yourself a problem. But she tried to get a secret clearance or a top secret clearance to get into a government nuclear research facility. Now, why was she doing that? To get to the spies. Probably pizza party. I think you're right. That person probably is. Yes. In fact, what she told folks was not to say anything. She told people not to say anything. In fact, let me find my notes on that. Oh, I already closed it. Yeah. She told her friends, listen, they've already started the investigation. Don't tell them I know anybody at the embassy. I just work at the gym. Clearly, somebody committing fraud. Yep, she sang like a canary because she is going to the big house. Going to the big house, baby. Gonna be somebody's girlfriend. Yeah, yep. U.S. jails former South African Brigadier General for acting as an agent of a foreign country. She also provided materially false statements. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Well, there's a war brewing over the Springboks, ladies and gentlemen. BEE is rearing its ugly head. More racist theft of South Africa. A legal battle is brewing over the government's plan to grant special protected status to the upcoming rugby's greatest rivalry tour. The tour will see South Africa's Springboks take on New Zealand's All Blacks between August and September. Department of Trade, Industry and Competition recently published a notice proposing that the tour be declared a protected event under Section 15A of the Merchandise Marks Act of 1941. If approved, the designation would give organizers additional legal protection against the unauthorized use of event-related branding, logos, slogans, trademarks associated with the Springboks, All Blacks, and the tour itself. Protection would cover a wide range of names and visual marks. However, the proposed declaration comes with a number of conditions that have sparked criticism from Solidarity. The union argued that the government wants to impose procurement and broad-based black economic empowerment, theft, requirements on what is essentially a private sporting event. Yep. They want to put BEE into the cost of your jerseys. Yep. Well, she was a retired brigadier general and she was working in a gymnasium. Wow. I don't know any generals that aren't doing something that's insignificant. March dismisses claims of split and backs Jacinta and Kubisi Zuma. Okay, well, King Ketchawea March and March chairperson Zolana Gumede has defended Jacinta, saying branches in his district and neighboring municipalities continue to support her leadership style and vision, that she firmly remains in control of the movement. Good! So she can be firmly charged with domestic terrorism when they get around to it, if her followers don't stop attacking people. Fallen to ruin. The iconic South African house in London's Trafalgar Square is shuttered. South Africa's High Commission in London has moved out of neglected South Africa House as Durko claims the iconic building has been temporarily closed to replace the heating system. However, the Democratic Alliance anti-apartheid activist Lord Peter Hain believe that Durko has allowed the building to fall into ruin. Of course they have, because Durko are a bunch of incompetent twits, led by the biggest twit of all, Ronnie Lamola. Ronnie Lamola. The former Ekurhuleni city manager, Imogene Mahashi, and three of her co-accused are out on 50,000 rand bail each. 50,000 rand bail each. The MPA spokesperson, Kaiser Kayango, said on Friday that Mahashi, the municipality's head of legal services, Advocate Kimraj Bahari, head of human resources Linda Gasheka, and Ekurhuleni Deputy Police Chief Julius Mkwanazi had all secured their release. All accused of massive fraud, and they're all walking on the street. They'll never serve time in jail. They'll never serve time in jail. Legal action over Schwane places the city manager on precautionary suspension. The Democratic Alliance raised procedural concerns of special counsel sitting as Johan Medler is put on ice. The divided Schweine Council has suspended city manager Johann Mettler, setting the stage for a legal showdown as he intends challenging the decision. Huh. Sorry, my thing is acting up here. YouTube is acting up. What is going on here? Jesus, YouTube is so freaking... There we go. Finally. That took a while. Well, they won't let you know the live started because I didn't announce it in time. That's why that happened. All right, YouTube was not letting me take action against someone who's misbehaving. You got 10 minutes this time. Keep being an ass, you're going to get blocked. 10 minutes. Learn to grow up and be an adult, and then you can be here. Well, it's cheaper to operate Lesotho than in Pretoria. Southern African Kingdom is confirming an AI data center and a massive hydroelectric project. While constructing artificial intelligence data centers, stable energy supply and efficient cooling capacity are non-negotiables. Hence, the reason they don't want to build this in South Africa. Lesotho, however, imports half of its electricity from the Southern African power pool, but that's because they're not making good use of the Highlands Water Project. It's the only country in the world situated entirely over an elevation of 1,000 meters. Here comes the rain. Here comes the rain. Lesotho's Minister of Energy and Mining, Lohone Mopotjane, confirmed to Forbes Africa several projects from solar to hydroelectric have broken ground in an attempt to reposition Lesotho as a nation where industrialization can take root. Yep. They're hoping to hydrate South Africa's Gauteng province at the same time. So, he reveals that New York City-based Convolt Energy is engaged with Lesotho on producing 1.2 gigawatts of power using one of the dams that already exist, pump storage there. 1.2 gigawatts of power. That's insane. Yeah, this comes as Lesotho and Cobalt Energy reportedly signed a memorandum of understanding to develop a combined hydro and AI data center project worth $6.2 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, instead of that $6.2 billion going into South Africa, it's going into Lesotho. Yeah. But the green shoots of the South African economy are just there, right? They're just there. Zimbabwe-born man suspected of killing family in UK arrested in Johannesburg. Yep, they got him. A British citizen of Zimbabwean heritage is wanted by authorities in the United Kingdom for the alleged murders of his wife and 2 young daughters. Has been arrested by South African police in Joburg, trying to slip back into Zimbabwe, no doubt. Shume, 45, is sought by UK authorities in connection with the murders of his wife, 42-year-old Notaba Zandile Chuma, and the couple's 2 daughters, Natalie and Natla, 5. 3 victims were discovered Monday after officers forced entry into the family's home in Great Denham, near Bedford, following concerns that they had not been seen for several days. And here he is on CCTV, leaving the UK after he murdered those people. Can you imagine that? Standing in line next to this scumbag murderer who murdered his wife and daughters? What a sick, twisted piece of human feces. Oh, the rain doesn't sound promising. It's still 1-1 at 49-minute mark, but there's a corner kick coming for Belgium here. Or is that for Spain? Yeah, I think it's for Spain, actually. Here's the kick. And it's cleared. I think, is Spain wearing the white? I can't tell who's who. I got to get a better look with these jerseys. They both have red jerseys. So nothing came of the corner kick. 50 minutes into it now. Well, I wonder if that'll go to a shootout. So that scumbag, that absolute scumbag, is floating free. Let me look for this very quickly here. Joe is given a timeout. I didn't see the comment, but I see that he's attention seeking, so he can go put his putt elsewhere. Trump says he's agreed to the talks with China-Iran, but the ceasefire is over. Iran is attempting to assassinate President Trump again. Israel shared new intelligence with the U.S. that said it showed Iran was considering a new plan to assassinate the president. Israel shared new intelligence. They for years vowed to openly retaliate against Trump for the assassination of Soleimani. The Israeli embassy in Washington declined to comment. Israel's mission to the United Nations didn't respond. The White House referred the Wall Street Journal to comments the president made on Wednesday. They want to take out the U.S. leader. Me. I'm on every list. I saw this morning. I'm on every single one of the lists. And so far, I guess I've been a little bit lucky. Maybe that doesn't last very long. Yep. So let's take them out instead. Oh, my goodness. Andy Burnham, about to become UK Prime Minister, even though he hasn't won anything. Wow. Andy Burnham is on the brink of becoming UK's next Prime Minister, unopposed after securing the backing of 80% of Labour party lawmakers. Burnham said he received nomination from 322 of the 403 Labour members. Wow. No other candidate put their name forward. Labour, destroying England one day at a time. Poland unveils their first long-range drone to boost their strike capability. Deputy Defense Minister Czerny Chomzak said Poland was planning to build its own drone armada to defend itself from its enemies. Well, that's fascinating. If they'd had that in 1939, they could have defeated the Nazis and the Soviets. Trump says he won't sign that ridiculous housing bill that will become law at midnight because the Senate won't vote on the SAVE bill. I will not sign the housing bill, which has been fully approved by Congress and sent to the White House in protest over the fact the United States Senate is not capable of passing the Save America Act. Yep, he called on Senate Republicans to end the filibuster and advance elections legislation and other Republican priorities. I don't understand how it becomes law. Why doesn't he just veto it? The Small Business Administration has suspended 7,800 people in Wisconsin linked to $375 million in suspected fraudulent loans. More than 150,000 borrowers have been suspended in 5 states over $10 billion in potential fraud. Kelly Loeffler, the failure at Senate, who now is the head of the Small Business Administration. The loans were taken under the Paycheck Protection Program and COVID Economic Injury Disaster Loan Programs. Yep. In Ohio, they suspended 27,000 borrowers tied to $1.1 billion in suspected fraud. 6,900 Minnesota borrowers were suspended on suspicion of $400 million in potential fraud. Yeah, there's a lot of money to get back from these fraudsters. A lot of money to get back from these scumbags who stole from the taxpayer. U.S. gas prices headed in the wrong direction again. It is summertime, but of course the Iran conflict is a reason. Price of gasoline for gas increased 4 cents since Thursday. So 4 cents it went up today. I don't know where that's at. That's in California. Yeah, we don't pay $5. We pay $3 for gasoline here in Pennsylvania. From Thursday to Friday, the price of gasoline increased roughly 4 cents from $3.84 to $3.88. And from Wednesday to Thursday, increased by 5 cents. So it's up 9 cents this week since the conflict relaunched. The Committee to Protect Journalists, their staff is packed with anti-Israeli agitators amid boardroom feuds over Gaza list, according to the Washington Free Beacon. Left-wing prosecutors take dark money to target federal immigration agents. The Committee to Protect Journalists is descending into turmoil and infighting over its flawed list of Palestinian journalists killed in Gaza. Maybe that's because its ranks are staffed with staffers who engage in anti-Israeli advocacy, accused Israel of genocide, promoted anti-Israeli economic boycotts, and in one case authorized the Bizarro Manifesto advocating resistance to revolutionary violent pressure against Zionist occupation. Revelations are likely to raise further questions about the CPJ's impartiality. Well, no. The Committee to Protect Journalists are a bunch of frauds, a bunch of leftists who hate the world and hate themselves. Here you go, folks. Are you curious where the GDP is growing the most? Last year, in the United States, these are the rates of growth in the gross domestic product in the 50 states. Here you go. California grew at 2.5%. Florida had the highest rate of expansion at 3.1%. Texas at 2.5%. South Carolina at 3.1%. Indiana at 2.5%. New York at 2.9%. Pennsylvania was a laggard at 1.9%. North Dakota was the worst at 0.3%, Wyoming at 0.5%, and West Virginia 0.5%, Maine. So there is the GDP growth in 2025. Blue is good, orange is bad. The highest was 3.1% in Florida. Great economy, but that's because people are moving like crazy.